Quite Ms. Wessels has also had perfect attendance for several school years in a row. I'll say it's over 5 at this point, showing her incredible dedication to the students that she trains for. Congratulations. Another social worker I'd like to recognize is Cassie Seville. She'll come on down. In addition to being a great school driver, Cassie is certified in the Georgia Department of Driver Services as a third-party CCL examiner, meaning that she can conduct CCL tests. She's also been, over the last 2 years, she's earned her instructor trainer certification through the Georgia Department of Education. So we appreciate all that she does for our school system. And then finally, I would like to recognize one of our most monitors, Ms. Angela Baker. She's from Monroe. Angela is one of our, she is our almost senior bus monitor, position that she has held for 20+ years. She is our go-to person when it comes to training bus monitors, working bus drivers, and student management, and assisting other drivers and monitors and routes with students. So we appreciate all that Angela does. She's very versatile, and we can move her around, and she helps in many different areas for us. So we appreciate her very well. For our recognition tonight, the Monroe County Football Principal, Mr. Herbert Chambers.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you to the board, our superintendent, and staff for allowing us to honor our students and staff tonight. First, I'd like to honor our staff, Mr. Kennedy, top middle school in Georgia Award. First, we'd like to call Georgia Clark. Christina Rogers, Laura Nelson. Wilson. Last, Sam Lee. This was what goes to the FFA Region to Allen Street ID winner, and that goes to EU Florida. This award is the FFA Shout Out to Officer Leadership Champions Award. First, we have Riley Clinton. Next, we have Katie Ford. Logan Burchett. Wyatt Jones. Ethan Ford. Trooper Seville. Ella McNoll. Amelia Cooley. Last, we have down these recognized for outstanding individuals, FFA Shout Out Area 3. And that's going to be Dr. Skylar Linden.
Wait. Takes a second.
I felt like going over.
We're just waiting on the cash. Now we're good.
All right. We're back here in the boardroom. Next thing on the agenda is consent items. Dr. Finch.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Of course, board members have had time to preview these. The field trip requests are pretty normal for this time of the year. Some of them are getting ready for last end of semester type field trip requests, and some are obviously into the next semester. And then, of course, fundraiser requests are in a little bit smaller clip at this time of the semester. You'll probably see a larger amount of them at the beginning of the next semester at the January board meeting. Of course, you can see all of those and the start dates that are aligned with the approval of tonight. And then the board meeting minutes from October 14th. And so those are all your consent items for tonight.
I move we approve the consent items, field trip request, fundraiser request, and board minutes.
All right. Got a motion? Second. Mr. Jenkins, all those in favor? It's unanimous. Thank you. All right. Next thing on the agenda is, looks like we have the Monroe County Library Board appointee. Dr. Finch, would you like to tell us about it?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. This is a seat on the Monroe County Library Board, and in their bylaws, they have designated seats, one of those belonging to the Monroe County Board of Education, and they're 4-year terms. And a 4-year term for the current person that sits on that board, that's Lori English, is coming to an end in December. And we were here to recommend someone new to replace her starting in January to be on that board. And the recommendation is that we appoint Rhonda DeMichael from Samuel E. Hubbard Elementary School. She is an instructional coach there, and we wanted to utilize her expertise in literacy. And we felt like that's kind of the best place for us to be on the library board, especially with a lot of literacy initiatives coming from our Board of Education at the state level and even from the legislative level. The historical perspective on this is that back when Mr. Dumas was the superintendent, this is the engagement between the library and the Board of Education began, and it began under a time in which students did not have access to internet or electronic devices to do that. I mean, we're talking about the late 80s and early 90s when that first agreement was done. Well, I knew he was. Okay, well, I knew that's when his tenure started, and I know it started at the same time, but apparently it did. But at any rate, or no, because his tenure started before he did. I got you. So it was done more so for student access to internet and devices and research and whatnot. That is not as prevalent in 2025, so the focus is kind of shifted for us to be a little bit more from the literacy angle as being on there, and Mr. Michael is one of our literacy experts in the county. So that's what our recommendation is, and Mr. Chairman, if there's any discussion to follow, we would also entertain that as well.
All right. Looking to make that one minute. All right, got a motion? Have a second, Ms. Battle. Any discussion?
I mean, she's been in the district for a while now, and again, she's an instructional coach at the elementary school, one of the elementary schools.
Yeah. She's one of our employees, she's a good appointee, I do believe. I would put some top behind it. Anything else? Go right ahead. Got a first, I got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, we got board policy update.
Yes, sir. This is the first look at this brand new policy that is born out of legislation from the 2025 General Assembly. And it is the K-8 ban on cell phones. And so all elementary schools and middle schools from the legislative level are to have a ban on cell phones in the building. And we have drafted a policy here that that also mirrors that at kindergarten, or actually K through 8th grade. Kindergarten, the pre-K kid might not have one, I guess. At the 9 through 12 level, we're actually leaving it to the principal and the principal's designee. And the way that works is from the K-8 level, the language in the law says that the phone has to be tethered. And by tethered, they mean in a pouch, okay, or locked up in some secured location. Probably the best way to handle that is don't bring it over there at all, because we won't be responsible for, the activity that they go along with that. But at the end of the day, they have to be up from the first bell to the last in those grade levels. Now, in high school, the way we do it right now at the high school is there's like a phone caddy. And so, y'all been in some of our classrooms in high school, you saw them, they look like shoe caddies that hang on the wall. And there's numbers in them, and each student has a designated number. And when they come in that classroom, they have to put it in that caddy. But we're not recommending that the high school kid have it tethered all day. They leave from that block, go to the next class block, and they phone caddy again, okay? And the reason we're taking this approach right now at 9 through 12 levels, we have so much open campus movement. We have students that come in late from college classes. We have students that leave early for college classes. We have a lot of movement between different campuses that we have. And, I mean, you got a kid that may tether it at a college or career academy, but finish their day at the main campus, okay? So they have to go all the way back to the CCA or vice versa, and so it's a little bit more difficult to do that at a high school level, but the teacher and the administrators, the principal and the designees are the ones that control the learning environment at the high school with respect to electronic devices. This is a first look policy, so what we would be recommending today is that we put this out for 30-day comment period, and then we would be asking for full approval in December.
So this is just a continuation of what they're doing at high school?
It's a continuation at the high school.
And changing consistently used?
I would agree with that because I had to address that. And the thing that sometimes you see is teacher A who does a better job of policing that, and teacher B sometimes not. Or you have student A who is more compliant and hands over their phone, whereas you got to ask for student B's. You know what I mean? Whereas it needs to be a practice where they come in automatically and the student is responsible for doing that. Instead of us having a little big shakedown. I mean, you don't want to turn into that because then you start to take away the instruction time too. But we have to have a solid process there at the high school. And that's just something we want to monitor to make sure that it's done.
But the expectation is that the phone goes up.
The expectation that the phone goes up at the beginning of that time period, and then the phone can be released back to them at the end of that class period. The other thing that I failed to mention is that we're starting to have more dual enrollment classes on campus because of our college and career academy. And oftentimes our higher ed institutions require a multi-factor authorization to get into their account. And so when they sign into their account on a laptop or a desktop or anything like that, it sends a message to their phone, and you have to authenticate that you get signing in. And so if we take up everybody's cell phone at 8 o'clock, and I'm not giving you that back until 3 o'clock, they can't authenticate that they're signing. So just too many other variables at the 9 through 12 level right now for us to go to the tethered ban like there is pre-K through 8. Yes, so state law says we have to have this policy on the books January 1st to go into effect July 1st, 2026.
Principal or what I was going to say, the principals is all teachers, so we doesn't give them leeway.
No, they don't have leeway. Yep, yep.
It should be, consistency.
Should not.
But
not a teacher.
Yeah, I would say, I dare say, I think the board would be to make very consistent that all students in their classroom tell that on that academy. I think that, unless me and you instructional or any other reason, but every time they go down there, they need to put I've been in the classroom myself, and they got your cell phone, your buddy in, pulled up, and that really needs to stop. I don't want to see that at all, but it's just, disrespectful to the door of the classroom, but it needs to be handled. I think this is a good idea, very good idea. So, all right.
And then I think it's realizing the reality of the situation right now. Okay.
When logo is in that, you should start thinking it's good. All right.
So we need a motion and a second for it, yeah.
All right,
Make a motion that we place this policy for first reading.
all right. Motion and a second, all those in favor? Thank you. Okay. You got another board policy revision?
Okay, yes. And this was actually found while going through some of our board policies, and quite honestly, we probably need to audit more of these cleanup policies, but this is a graduation requirement policy that changed for special ed students in 2021. And while working on the graduation plan for an individual student, we actually saw that there was a discrepancy there. And it's what you see in green called the alternate diploma that had not been updated to our board policy either.
Read through what you said, what's the difference between this alternative diploma and the special ed diploma that we did?
Well, an alternative diploma will allow you to count as a graduate as long as you have a post-secondary plan written into your IEP.
Are we still going to also look at the diploma?
Yes, you have different people that are eligible for that. About 99% of the people are just going to graduate with a regular high school diploma. This affects a very small percentage of our population, but we still have that in.
And
Alternate diploma and a regular diploma.
but I said,
Alicia, am I saying that correctly? Yes, it's the alternate diploma or it's the regular ed diploma. An alternate diploma will capture what you're talking about.
that's my question.
That's right. It still captures that. And again, this is actually from a cleanup from the DOE from about 5 years ago. Just did clean up the Monroe County board policies. So again, this will be a first look. Any change to policies, first look for 30 days, and then we'll come back in December and recommend it for full approval.
Looking for a motion for first look on revision policy. IASC. Motion and second, all those in favor? Unanimous. We didn't have any parties sign up for public participation, so we will go on to financial report. Mr. Chris.
All right, good evening. I wish I had a little bit better news, but if you look at our general fund revenues for the current year, $7.7 million. If you look at revenue for the prior year at the same time frame, you're looking at $9 million. We all know that there was a delay in the tax bill going out. As a result, we have not started receiving little bit different there. We're still making our bills, making payroll. But we're running real tight right now as far as cash reserves.
What about it?
Pardon?
What about it, sir?
At the beginning of November, we're talking approximately $2 million.
Monthly payroll amount.
It's 4.5 million.
It pushes $5 million.
Pushes 5 million now.
Now, we will receive 2.7 million, November 19th, I believe it is. They're actually sending out QB money early this year. They're not waiting until the last day of the month like they typically have done. They have finally realized that most boards, most school systems are off that week. So they are sending it to match our payroll, both in November and December.
And what he says is, he says $2.7 million, and that's from the state, that's state funding. And we get 12 installments of 2.7 million, and then we pair that with our local revenue to make payroll and pay bills. That's right.
Correct. At the bottom of that page, you can see our outstanding purchase orders at the end of the month is 554,000. 448 of that is just buses that y'all approved last month. So, just wanted to bring that to your attention. The next page is our capital projects. If one thing is going good, it's our SPLOST revenue. We had a $789,000 SPLOST revenue for October. That's the third month in a row that it was connected to 700,000. So we've got our fingers crossed that that is a trend now. We'll have to wait and see if it continues. But it was a good surprise for us.
What was that you did?
789,000. And then the last page is our federal funds, which they are finally, a lot of our title grants and federal grants are getting approved at the state level, so we're able to draw those funds down. So we're catching up. But like I've said in the past, it will always be in arrears at least by a month. So, that number will zero out by the end of the year. Are there any questions?
Thank you.
Have we heard from them?
That's what I was talking about next. So, next on the agenda is our tax anticipation note. And we have heard from the county that our revenue is coming in a little faster than what we had first been worried about. To be clear, a lot of our property tax owners, especially just regular homestead property owners, oftentimes their mortgage company pays on their behalf. And so Lori Andrews has advised us that she has made contact with some of our major mortgage companies and those lenders to try to make sure that they're sending their bills in as fast as they can. And then she started to see people who just come up and individually pay with check or cash or anything like that, who do not have a mortgage company that pays on their behalf out of their escrow fund. So they're starting to see some of that, but we're still not going to have enough money to get to when we really feel like the bulk of this money is going to come in, which is going to be in late December and early January. Usually we see it late November and early December. We can make those payrolls during that time. Because remember, we get all of our local tax money in the November to December timeframe, so it looks like we have a lot of money, but that money's got to last you all the way to the next November. Okay? The state sends us equal installments each month. The county gives us all of our money around the November, December timeframe, and then the utilities usually come in February. Okay? So by February, you pretty much got all the property tax money from your individual landowners and homeowners, and then the utility property tax comes in about February. And so you have that money there, and then we have to kind of earmark it for, it's monthly installments. So we kind of pay ourselves from the time to go make bills or the time the rest of the year to pay bills and then pay payroll. So what we did was we sent out bids to 3 banks, and what we were able to estimate was that we would need a loan of $6 million, okay, to be paid back by December 31st, 2025. There's a good reason for that too, because you always want to have that 10 paid off before the end of the year, so it doesn't show up as an audit finding. And so with $6 million, we really think that that's going to cover a little more than a month, probably 6 weeks, to help us get to where we are getting our payroll, or our revenue in, so we can start making payroll. If we don't, because they have 60 days to pay. And if that revenue is slow coming in, we may have to come back and ask for another 10, okay? But if we actually in a new calendar year, Chris doesn't think that we're going to have to. And I keep dropping my name, but Lori Andrews just told us that it's coming in faster than what she first feared. So the lowest interest rate that we were given was 3.69% with United Bank here in Forsyth, Georgia.
Looking for a motion to issue a 10 for United Bank and interest rate of 3.69%.
That helps in interest.
All right, so it's approximately like $18,450 a month, okay? And that's taking that APR divided by 12, multiplying all out, $60 million as the principal, okay? The thing that United Bank just had an interest percentage on there, they didn't have any loan origination or any doc fees or anything like that, it was just the percentage that was there. And so we're looking somewhere between having to pay an interest rate, somewhere around $22,000 over a 6-week period.
And we can pay it off early. We don't have to wait until December 31st. If we get revenue in, we will pay it off early, which will save us on interest.
That's right.
Okay. Got a motion and a second by Dr. Austin. All those in favor? Unanimous. Thank you. All right.
All right, we'll do facility grants. And that's the big Mr. Flanders, and then you can go over that report, and then you have some other things that we have to go over with you.
This was we're going to do our own report on the spreadsheet, and then we'll come back instead of the structure. I'll show you the concept of the plaza for the state improvements. This was the color of our architect. This time, the state innovation project, the brick team go around and do it now on all 4 sides. It's coming up in front, this side, back down, as you can see, to the last side of the bricks, it's quickly down the other side. Eaves is simply going up on the exterior of the later this week, and the elevator work is going to be short. Let's rough 15 inches of bricks, hopefully it'll be done by Thanksgiving, maybe a little bit beyond that. We're pretty sure we'll be done this soon. And the old field house is currently being emptied out, demolition of the old field high school, we completed our Christmas break. 13th, we're gonna have Beauty Day in the old gymnasium, and then the plaza work, hopefully, it will begin at the conclusion of the flag football season. So, that's what we're going on that project. The next project we'll talk to you about completely now, that's road TC Scott, you drive, we put it out there. That project was completed on the third appearance. As you call it, you success around that. On the first day, you know, those traffic TC Scott was approved. Big report from people. That the traffic is getting better, it's getting quicker, you can build schools, take cars off 41. It's really started to have a major impact on parents that drive off. Four roads, a lot better off. It took them off and all that. I think people decided to go to TC Scott and get out from Montpelier. Because the now traffic not having as far one down 41.
And then why they turn around in the middle of the road?
We're not tomorrow, Taylor, TC Scott and his staff, work with a great plan to get the word out on processes and procedures. And so it helps that they were very smooth. And again, congratulations to our contractor, Bus Construction, and we're the system that's already open. That's a huge testament to what they're really doing. The new high school, we're very excited now that the East Watts passed, tomorrow from last week, we know we keep moving forward with this. Hoping to get this side of the documents to go later this week. SB designed our revised concept drawings. They're working on preliminary set drawings, we completed the spring 26, just about 6 months from now, latest. And once that's done, we'll bid it out for a seeing to come on board and manage the project. So that's kind of where we're at right now. It's very early stage, but it's a 4-year timeline, and we've been working on it for a while, trying to get that out. And we had bid placed and advertised, seeing the rest for the 2 projects, one with the HVAC project, as well as the middle school roof, and we would make a recommendation as far as the window proposal for next score was done last Wednesday, November 5th. School with that. And then we continue to hold pattern with the state schools, cybersecurity grant, this is time on federal grant coming out, shutting down capital halls and things. So hopefully we're going to get year 2 this year on that very soon. So we're off with grants, now I'll show you this video here of the new blog concept. And the cities come out. I love this architecture here, very similar to what's on this building in the back. So we have to tie things together. And then really big over there, back here. So really enhance experiences. This is curved line right here. You see this? This is actually going to be, we're going to fill out this GMR, so I will lose the parking lot back here. You can have the same asphalt back there, and then team forward.
So it's not changing the parking places.
We will lose a couple of them right out here. We're maybe a couple of those park, we won't lose those spaces. They're right out in the middle here, on the aisle, handicap parking, and I know it's just more. You can see, look back at the field house, it's got a very nice look to it, it's got that arched entryway there. It's got a little memorial on here with the achievements of very first football. And like I said, very symmetric, very pleasing to the eye design. Our architect came up with it, and then we really finish off that project, make everything, come forward and come full circle. So everything will be completely in that area and have students transition all, also have that campus look to this.
We're going to give a whole new area for students to hang out at. Great.
And one thing I like to do is these visitor home sections to kind of somebody living there before it comes up and actually separate, I guess, folks to their side, stay. This is kind of, you know, how much space we have, we won't cram it in, we won't have. From there, it's just going to let that front on you more, see that. We'll make sure I get everything. Any questions about facility rest?
Mr. Chairman, we have the next item on the agenda, is actually a change order that we're going to need for the final phase of this project. And it has come in a little more over budget than what we had originally had planned for, but, and I'll so anytime there's a change in the GMP, which is guaranteed maximum price of the project, it has to take board approval. And we've already approved the GMP for this project, but again, if you remember, the first phase of the project was the state renovations on the visitor side. The second phase of the project was the field house. This is actually the third phase. And this is the last phase, but it's going to come in over budget. We had originally thought that this was going to be a $1.7 million project, but it's actually going to be $2.5 million. So that's a difference of $800,000 on the final phase here. And you know, there's some explanation for some of this. In fact, there's some explanation for all of it, but you know, some of that is inflationary costs. When we first did budget for this, it was 18 to 24 months ago. By the time we opened it, it'll actually be 26 months after the initial planning phase for the budget. So some of that is actually inflationary costs that are in there. The other thing is that we have expanded coverage for asphalt, concrete, and masonry than what was previously budgeted for. And asphalt being the most expensive part of that, and then the labor, masonry being another huge part of that as well. But to be sure, this is not just a plaza like we first started with. When we started budgeting for this phase, we only budgeted for the plaza, but we do have some expanded scope of work in there. And part of that is that we're demolishing the steps that you see going down to the field. We do not need those steps any longer. However, we do need them on the visitor side. Because when teams exit the visitor's field house, they need to come down steps that's on the visitor side, not on the home side. So an expanded part of this project is getting rid of the steps that are currently there where you see them, and actually constructing steps on the other side of the field, okay, closest to the visitor side. That's where visiting teams will come down to play surface from those steps over there. The home team will be coming in from the south end of the stadium because the field house will be finished next year, okay? So there's another piece of work that's inside there. The other thing that's a part of this scope of work we were able to work this in is that our main campus gym, we're going to continue to use that facility. And it's going to turn into a 7th and 8th grade campus. Remember, we're going to call that the Lee Public Campus. And it's going to house our 7th and 8th graders, so we're still going to need to use that facility. And when that facility was built in 1983, you didn't have the same code that you have now. But the long and short of it is that we have wheelchair-bound students that take that to PE on the gym floor, and if we have to evacuate from the gym floor, they can't get out. There's not a ramp on the backside of that gym when it's first constructed, okay? There are steps And to be clear, we had to evacuate before, and we have staff that have to carry those students, wheelchair-bound students down steps and whatnot. And it's time for us to end that practice. And so this project is also inside there, but the reason I wanted to put it inside of this is because if you were to try to go a la carte on just that project, it's going to be much more expensive to have to call someone else in here and then to add it into the scope of plaza work. If that makes any sense, okay? So to be sure, we're trying to make sure that we're able to take care of the safety of our kids as well down there, but it's something that Mr. Flanders and I have been working with Mary Marshall's officials for several months now. And we saw this as an opportunity to put this as part of scope work for class. So that's another contributing factor for why we have to approve the new GMP. Now, to be sure now, for the CCA, the freshman campus, we collected $28.1 million. That was $25 million for a bond and $3.1 million for a grant, okay? And that bill came in at $22.8 million. So we may over budget on some, but we under budget on a lot of others too. And so fortunately, we actually came in under budget of what we originally thought that building was going to cost $25 million, okay? So basically what you have right now is an additional $5.3 million, which is easily free and clear of $800,000. But there are some other expenditures that I do want to point out to you because we were able to pay for the Hubbard roof project and TT Scott driveway that we just talked about, okay? And when you add those two together, there's still $1.2 million that's unencumbered, okay? Which is still free and clear of the $800,000 that we have budgeted for this. Additionally, we're not counting in any of the interest that we have earned in Georgia Fund 1 for our 2023 fund, which was CCA and freshman campus, and our 2024 bond, which was the PFA bond that's for the current project that's going on right now in State Plaza. Okay? That brings that $1.2 million up to $2.8 million free and clear of unencumbered funds, okay? Again, easily being able to cover the $800,000 gap that we're experiencing right now with $2 million to spare. And then I'd also like to add in that, just like Ms. Johnson said earlier, our East-Los revenue is trending $750,000 a month, okay? Which is easily another $1 million per year. And that's before some of the industry that we're expecting to come in here. So I say all that to say that I don't really like talking about changing price or having to approve a new GMP without making sure that we're clear on funding where it's going to come. And we're easily within the scope of the budget of that, even though we were under, we went over budget for a phase of it, if that makes any sense. We've been under budget for a lot of the other phases that we've been doing. So with all that being said, you know, the administration recommends the approval of the change order for Parish Construction and the amount of $2,596,727 for this final phase.
All right, got a motion? And a second, we'll get this out. Any discussion? I guess we've got a really great construction company doing this work where we come out in with a little extra. That makes sense. All those in favor? Unanimous. Thank you.
It will. All right, Mr. Chairman, the next item is the approval of the construction firm for the summer 2026 projects. And if I need to remind you what those projects are, next on the agenda, the projects that we would do is, remember when we replaced the Hubbard roof, Hubbard Elementary, and now it's time to replace their HVAC units. Okay? Simultaneously, in the summer of 2026, we will replace the Monroe County Middle School roof. And that's the portion of the roof that was not part of the additions from 4 years ago. So the addition from 4 years ago, obviously, that roof does not need to be replaced because it is a 4-year-old roof. The remainder of the roof is 32 years old. Okay? Fortunately, the middle school did not have leaks beyond repair the way Hubbard Elementary had. So we had to go after Hubbard Elementary first, and then we're going to go after Monroe County Middle Schools next. And if you've been following, you can tell the pattern that we're doing here. Then the next project that we would do with the middle school will be in 2027 with HVAC units. And remember, we still have HVAC units that run on a floppy disk, okay? We're trying to get rid of those. And these would be two, we get rid of the first one in 2026, some in 2026, and the next one in 2027. And remember, once we do the roof of any facility, then we start going into the facility and start making renovations there as well. But you wouldn't renovate the inside of the facility without securing the roof first and replacing the old HVACs first, okay? That's just the scope of work that has to be done. So, after receiving the bids from the construction management firms, you can see on the paper that Mr. Flanders has passed out, and the scoring committee was able to come to an understanding that the administration would recommend the approval of Misha Construction to serve as the construction management firm at risk for the Monroe County Middle School roof replacement and the Hubbard HVAC replacement during the summer 2026.
Do I hear a motion for approval for Misha Construction? Make that motion. Second by Mr. Bab. Any discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous.
Calendar. All right, Mr. Chair, thank you. So, to be clear, we approved a 2-year calendar at the October 14th meeting. We did that without the Georgia National Fair fully publishing their dates. In a perfect world, they would publish those dates before October 14th. If they did publish them before October 14th, we couldn't find them. So we estimated they always start on a Thursday in October. And we had to guess if it was going to be October 1st or October 8th. We guessed October 1st. It ended up being October 8th. Okay? Now, our families vote on, and our teachers and our staff, our employees, a lot of people vote with the understanding that fall break is going to coincide with the Georgia National Fair. We also have a lot of our CTSOs, and what CTSOs are a fancy term for clubs with CTE. And so you'll have FBLA, you'll have FFA mainly, that end up having to do a lot of showing at the Georgia National Fair. If it's during fall break, they miss less school. And also, for people who, or not people, but students who are involved in a lot of activities, it's easier for them to go and enjoy the fair as long as it's coincided. So, you know, if you've got band students, always have to go to band practice every afternoon, and we're in school during the Georgia National Fair, they don't get to go. Okay, but they can go because it's during fall break. So, long story short, we guessed on the wrong week. We do think in October 2027 that we have the correct week. Because October 1st lands on Friday in 2027, and we feel pretty confident that October 7th, 2027 is going to be the first day. So, we just recommend that we move it from the October 5th through the 9th date that was originally approved, and we're going to go October 12th through the 16th now. So all we're doing is just moving that one little, that's the only amendment, okay? So it's basically approval of a revision and not approving the entire calendar that you've already approved 2 years worth of calendar. Hopefully I explained that.
And I think if you could do they get an extended year for those days, they have to work during all break.
They extended the year, things like fall break, weekends, and summer, so it covers all that, so it just covers that, so that's right.
So I believe we get it, and have all break on that, we're going to have to.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor? Unanimous. Thank you. All right.
The next is just a reminder.
Yeah.
And so the GSBA winter conference, I think we have 2 board members are signed up that right now, but just a reminder that that'll actually occur before our next board meeting. So we'll just make a reminder, December 3rd through the 5th. And any questions about that, you can speak with me, speak with Ms. Elder, you can speak with Ms. Powell. We have 3, I'm sorry, we have 3.
All right, next is executive session. We have any executive session?
Yes, administration recommends the board enter into executive session to discuss personnel.
Second, Ms. Bell, all in favor? Unanimous. Thank you. If everyone, executive session, all right, back to you. All right, we're back from executive session. And Sir Ratcliffe.
Thank you, sir. The administration recommends the approval of the personnel actions on the blue sheet as discussed during executive session.
Okay.
Approval of actions as just on the blue sheet.
Motion by Dr. Doster,
Second.
second by Ms. Bowden. All those in favor? Unanimous.
Thank you.
All right, any reminders?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, Fine Arts Center will host Quad A, One Act Play State Championship, okay? That is this Saturday. So they will be there all day, and there are 8 region champions, and all 8 of those will compete and vie for the state championship in Quad A. And that's this Saturday. That ought to be fun. District Robotics Tournament will take place November 15th at Hubbard, also on the same day. And then our own married persons who were region champions themselves, they will go the next week, okay, at Cambridge High School in Milton, Georgia. That's November 22nd. So our One Act Play will be competing for the state championship there. We'll be closed November 24th through the 28th for Thanksgiving break. Holiday events, they're going to kick off at the Fine Arts Center. That starts with the Empty Bowls Project, and that's on December the 2nd. Check the events calendar on the website for all of the holiday happenings. And Let's Hang On, which is America's #1 Frankie Valli tribute, will take the stage at the Fine Arts Center on December 6th. Tickets are on sale now, and your next regularly scheduled BOE meeting is December 9th at 5:30 p.m. And that's all we have, Mr. Chairman.
All righty, looking for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
That's Mr. Billsback, second by Mr. Jenkins. All those in favor? Unanimous. Y'all have a good night.
You got that? Yes. All right, sir. You the man. Thank y'all.